Here is nice too. A nice dry field. Level playing field for both teams. So we should see the best of both teams here today.
Yeah, the wind is no factor. The sun is out, and both teams that like to throw the football a lot, it won't have any effect on their offensive attack here today.
Round 3 playoff matchup, and for the Sharyland Rattlers, wow, you look at their record, first of all, over the past 2 years. How about this? 24-1. The one loss at the hands of this Maverick team, and Armando, it's no mystery. Round 3 of the playoffs has got to go through a San Antonio team, and this Maverick team has been a valley killer, if you want to use that phrase.
And they have been. Jim Street has been doing this a long time, and just like we were talking pregame, I think the last time a valley team beat a Jim Street coach team was Coy Detmer in Mission, 1990. So it's been a while, and he's played a lot of games at this level. These kids are experienced, and that's going to be a factor for them today.
Kevin Naro, if you want to take a football team out of the Rio Grande Valley that has some firepower to throw at a team, some big playmakers, well then I don't know if you can arguably find anyone better than the Sharyland Rattlers to say this is the best we've got at throwing big playmakers at you on any given snap.
Yeah, you're right. We've always said that they don't rebuild, they reload. And last year, after Sharyland and Tres Barrera really led the way for this Rattler team. Big shoes to fill in Diego Chrysler and Lance Madden. They're here today. It's a big stage. And you talk about the experience factor. Both these teams have been here before. It's a rematch of last year. And I really think offensively they got to get points on the board against a team like the Mavericks.
Well, Armando, as we take a look at the matchup between these two teams, Madison brings playmakers. Obviously, one big playmaker is no longer with this football team who just devastated the Harlingen Cardinals 2 years ago. Sharyland a year ago. Mark Wolford, he's gone. He's at Memphis, but they still have playmakers. And so do you just indeed look at this game from a Sharyland perspective and say it's got to be a shootout? We've got to rely on our offense to put up huge numbers.
I think so. I think right from the onset, anytime a Valley team does well this late in the playoffs, no matter really the sport, it's confidence. It's coming out, asserting yourself, doing what you do, and doing it well. And I think if they can avoid the mistakes, get some positive yards early, and possibly a score, I think they'd be in good shape.
A year ago, of course, Sharyland lost to this Madison team, and they went through Harlingen first. But everyone looked at that Harlingen team and said, well, that wasn't your typical Manny Gomez team. The Harlingen team they beat last week, though, is a much different version that got the Sharyland Rattlers to this point. So how does that play into effect as far as, okay, we've been here against Madison, but we just beat a really good Harlingen team with a good defense?
Well, I think it all starts and ends at the quarterback position. It's gonna, like I said, it's going to be a very tough task. A young quarterback in Diego Chrysler, along with Lance Madden. And last week, I know there was a bit of confusion who's going to be the quarterback coming into this ball game. And I think an X factor tonight, Christian Martinez, one of the favorite targets out of the wide receiving core. And again, Sharyland on the special teams and on the defensive side can really make a difference here for these Rattlers.
When you get to this point in the season, Armando, and you have three quarterbacks, perhaps it's a luxury, perhaps it's a distraction because you now no longer just look at one guy in the huddle and say this is our leader. Or is it a factor that maybe plays into the favor of the Rattlers in this ballgame?
I think it's a good thing for them. They have guys that can come and they each bring a different skill set. You talk to Ron Adame and he says, hey, these kids do different things. It's hard to prepare for. And it gives them the option. They can go with the hot hand. Somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do. They can go to another guy. So having those options definitely helps Sharyland.
Throw the physical side out the window because we could get into some physical comparisons here and see that they're a much bigger football team being the Mavericks against the Rattlers. Let's get to the mental aspect of this football game. And Armando, perhaps the biggest chore is getting over the fact that this is round 3 against the San Antonio school.
It's all about weathering the storm. We've talked about it over the years with Valley teams. They'll come in. They're hyped up, everybody's jacked up, big crowd, big stage, and they start making mistakes. They got to avoid the mistakes, come out, play clean, and show them, hey, we can play football down there too.
Kevin Naro, as we take a look at the size differential in these football teams, it may start and end with the quarterback in Cody Ennis for the Madison Mavericks. He puts up big numbers. He's a big, imposing person when you look at him physically.
Yeah, 6'5". Ennis was 12 of 20 last week, 204 yards through the air, throwing 2 and rushing for 2. And he also had 110 rushing yards as well. So a dual threat this quarterback is, a big stature, and it's going to be tough for these Sharyland defenders going up against guys that are twice their size. And like you said, when you play in the Valley, you get a lot of the size comparisons. 5'9" is pretty tall for us, but when we see guys in the 6 foot plus, then the challenge gets greater.
Rattlers, of course, are the home team on the scoreboard, and the advantage as far as the crowd goes, you look down here below us, fellas, and Armando, you've been covering this long enough to know the Valley will represent with a huge crowd, as is the case here today. can play a factor in this ballgame.
It can, and you see a sea of red down there, and these guys look up and they see that too, and as we saw last week, Kevin, and we see every year, Joe, the Valley comes out and supports their teams. You'll see Letterman jackets and caps from all sorts of teams down there. So, just another great show of support here today.
This, of course, the first broadcast of 2 games coming your way here on Digital 4.2 today and tonight. This one scheduled for a 2 o'clock kickoff. We're about 3 minutes and some change away from that. And then later tonight at 7:30, it's a kickoff against the Port Isabel Tarpons taking on Lavernia. And, fellas, let's just break that down real quick. If ever there was a case that 2 football games are going to contrast in the styles of play, we're seeing the flashy, glitzy, up and down the field here. Later tonight, anything but.
And we were talking about this also last week, Kevin. Some people like to say the Port Isabel offense is outdated, it's boring, but it works. And you can say the same thing about Lavernia. They're going to come at you, and it's just basically going to be a mano-a-mano matchup. Who's going to stop who? So that's going to be a great game.
2 teams meeting out on the field. They'll have the playing of the school anthems, and then they'll have the national anthem. Going to give us a chance to take our pregame break, and what we'll do is we'll be back and dissect this a little more. This is a live football coverage coming your way. It's a regional playoff game between the Sharyland Rattlers and the San Antonio Mavericks. It's coming to you on ValleyCentral.com and Digital 4.2, Subchannel 42, and ValleyCentral.com. Where's Lee?
There's audio from commercials. Because they said there was already audio.
What about on the stream?
How about for streaming? Is there audio? Well, audio, yeah. The TV said there was no audio. But you have video, right?
Back here at Buccaneer Stadium, live audio coming your way on ValleyCentral.com and on Digital 4.2. It's live video and audio coming your way. We are still working through some of the technical issues on that. So those of you that are viewing this and watching it, if you will, on screen and maybe listening to it on your computer, yeah, that's where you're getting your audio right now as we continue to work through that. Well, we've had the playing of the national anthem. The school songs were played earlier. Now we'll have the entrance of the Rattlers of Sharyland coming onto the football field. 24-1. I don't care how you match it up, Armando Garza. That is an impressive record.
It is, and they've taken care of business. And over those last 2 years, you've seen Sharyland rise to the upper echelons of Valley football. And they've done it in a variety of ways. You know, they have the athletes, they have good coaching, and they're definitely a program that's on the rise, and this is that next step they want to take.
Kevin Naro on the other side, Madison Mavericks. You'll say, well, they took third place in their district, and they've lost 3 football games. Now let's talk about who they played.
Yeah, well, they got their first in the playoffs against New Braunfels, 63-10, and then the next round they beat it O'Connor 49-20, which was a rather entertaining game. The score might look lopsided, but the opposing or the band from San Antonio Madison got flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct, saying they were playing too loud. Well, that motivated that Maverick squad, Joe. After that, they went on a 27-0 spurt. So this team can score in bunches just like these Rattlers. You know, it's going to all start and end with Jamichael Brown, who had a phenomenal game last week, 6 catches, 148 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. And on the ground, Dominic Daniels, probably one of the better backs that the Rattlers will face in this Maverick team. Mavericks are going to get the football to start this game. We looked out there at the coin toss. The captains are going to come out and meet. I believe we're going to have we had a coin toss, but I don't think they indicated who gets the football yet.
I guess now we'll find that out. Maybe it's for real now.
Officials have the 2 captains out there right now. Rattlers, of course, the home team on the scoreboard, big crowd. And now here comes the coin toss for the television viewing system.
It's going to the ground. It's a hand. You won the toss. You want to defer your option?
And the Rattlers of Sharyland won the toss and are going to defer. So, Armando, right out of the gate, surprised at that?
I am a little bit. You know, I think we just talked about confidence and wanting to come out and assert yourself right away. And, you know, I think Ron Adame feels that his defense wants to get out there and see what Madison can do. And, you know, some coaches like to get the ball right after the half. So, interesting strategy here.
Talk about field conditions, Kevin Naro. Obviously, sunshine skies. The temperatures are going to be decent. Wind blowing rather stiffly out of that north end zone, if you will. But we saw quarterbacks warming up with no problem against that wind.
Yeah, you're right. Cody Ennis, you and I saw him warming up 30 yards downfield, 40, even 50, all with the flick of a wrist. So Ennis today is poised to have a big game. He's their starting quarterback, and he's really going to have to lead the way for this Maverick squad against these Rattlers.
However, as the wind continues, it probably will not diminish any throughout the day. So wind at your back to start this ball game. Rattlers got to come out and go for the long ball early on.
I think so. I mean, you know, you got to take your shots and come out, and it's going to be something we talk about all day, Joe, is confidence and playing with that confidence right away.
Mavericks to kick it, and here we go. The kickoff away, bounds upfield, and fielded at the 10-yard line for the Madison Mavericks out to the 15 and about the 17-yard line. Nice coverage that time. I think they caught him by surprise how the Rattlers executed that kickoff.
That was a bit of a squibber up the middle. They kind of broke from the huddle quickly. And
look who's hurt. That's Spindler. That's Brown. Jamichael Brown is injured on the play and is not using his left foot at all exiting this football field. Kevin Naro.
Yeah, that could be a huge break for the Rattlers. I just mentioned in pregame that it's going to all start and end with him. Hopefully he's okay. He's on the far sideline now being aided by a trainer.
He was wrapped up awkwardly on the tackle. Here are the Mavericks, 1st and 10, and obviously everything looked at. Cody Ennis, the quarterback, I formation behind him, pitch back, running play, right-hand side, out across the 23-yard line on the carry that time, Dominic Daniels.
I think that's a name we're going to hear a lot. You know, Dominic Daniels is a great athlete, and, you know, he's able to step right in and take the pitch there and get good yards on first down.
Got 6 yards. Kevin Naro, keep an eye over there on Brown as they work on him at about the 13-yard line for the Madison Mavericks. Out of the gun this time, Ennis and the Mavericks of Madison just underway. First quarter action from Buccaneer Stadium. Handoff, no running play, and Ennis keeps it himself. Drives forward, short of first down yardage across the 25.
And again, Cody Ennis, like I said, he scored 4 touchdowns in last week's victory, 2 through the air and 2 on the ground. He rushed for over 100, so not only he can pass it, but he can hurt you with his legs.
3rd down and a yard coming up for the Madison Mavericks. This team averaging big numbers on offense on the season. Ennis out of the shotgun, keeps a single back in the backfield, 2 receivers left, man in motion left to right. 3rd and 1 from the 26. Ennis himself drives forward, got a first down, and just stretched out to about the 29, maybe the 30-yard line.
Well, Joe, you mentioned about this offense scoring points in the regular season. They averaged 38 points per game. In the postseason, through the 2 games they played, 56 points per game.
They've ramped it up, to say the least. Chains move for the first time for the Mavericks. Opening drive, took the kickoff out to their 22. Now they've got it out across the 30-yard line. They're at the 30-yard line. On first down. Man in motion left to right, under center Ennis. Play action, wants to throw for the first time. Out of the pocket, right side, has some room. Sideline, out of bounds, 6-yard gain. Good coverage downfield.
Great coverage by Sharyland down there, and he recognized that right away. tucked it and ran. So that's another element Sharyland's going to have to prepare for with this kid because he's a special player.
And oh, by the way, Brown checked in the game, was a deep receiver that time. He's limping back to the huddle, but he was streaking down the middle of the field as a receiver. Lines up as a receiver wide left this time. DJ Smith out there as well. Single receiver out to the right side is Byron Daniels. Out of the shotgun. They'll hand it off, running up the right side, and it's going to be Daniels. Bounces it, nearly broke it, tripped up as he crossed the 45. A split second away from breaking that one.
Excuse me, Joe. I think Ryan Montalvo saved a big gainer right there with a shoestring tackle because Daniels had a lot of green in front of him.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
definitely. Yeah, sorry, a touchdown saving tackle there from Montalvo because, like you said, he had a lot of real estate in front of him.
That's a second first down on the drive for the Mavericks. They'll go to the shotgun on this first down play. Swing two receivers on the right side. Cody Ennis out of the shotgun. Wants to throw again. Swing pass left side. That's Brown. He's going to be hit, taken down for a loss on the play.
That started with the penetration right there. It's hard to see these numbers, Joe, as we talked about. We had the number 16 there, though, Austin Acosta, slowed him down, and then his teammates came in and finished him off.
Yeah, Jacob Gomez read the coverage perfectly. The initial man covering him was Gennaro Davila, kind of backed up a little bit. He baited that screen pass there. But you're right, good tackling from the Rattlers.
So Ennis completes his first pass. Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11 for the Mavericks. Ennis under center. On second down, pitch out left side, and they'll hit him in the backfield, but he runs through a couple tackles. Daniel showed some strength there.
Javier Garza came in for Sharyland to make that tackle, but, nothing really special so far. It's just been run, kind of testing both sides of the Sharyland defense to start the game.
Yeah, David Agano was the first man who put pressure on the tailback there to kind of really move him out of his way.
Jamichael Brown that time exited the game, so he's not in the ball game on this 3rd and 5 play. In Rattler territory, Ennis out of the shotgun. Wants to throw, has time, delivers a deep ball down the right side, looking for the home run. It's going to be incomplete. Nice coverage downfield by the Rattlers.
Yeah, Monty Clare was there running with him stride for stride, Joe. Probably the best defensive play in the secondary we've seen so far. No flags on the field, though, so that's big there for both sides.
Tell you right now, Armando, that's the type of play you have to go against the athletes with.
Absolutely, and that was great coverage by him. He turned his head around, perfect position. Great, huge play on 3rd down.
He actually had a better chance at catching that football than did the receiver. And that, you go back to this, I know a lot of people don't give credit to the 7-on-7, but the level of 7-on-7 play that we've seen Sharyland and company play, we'll get to that in a minute. Punt away, returnable by the Rattlers to the 20-yard line. Sean Landez gives up some ground, takes it upfield, tripped up, taken down.
All right, and that's a huge confidence booster for Sharyland to get that punt. Now they can bring their offense out and start testing Madison and see what they can do against them.
And we'll see if perhaps patience is the word that needs to be used more so than any, because as I was saying in the pregame show, this team is accustomed to getting 15, 20, 30, 40-yard plays. Not going to get a lot of those against the Mavericks, most likely.
Yeah, just keep the game within the game, really, for these Rattlers. Stick to your game plan for four quarters.
Diego Chrysler will be the quarterback. 4 receivers set for the Rattlers. Wants to throw on first down. Middle of the field. They almost intercepted, and it's dropped.
The throw was a little bit low there as he was looking for Daniel Morales. But they come out firing, Joe. We talked about them taking a shot. That's the first play, but he ran up the seam there, and they're looking for a big gainer right there.
Yeah, the junior, Jordan Gonzalez, nearly came up with the interception, and there's a Madison player down right around the 40-yard line.
We have seen now a couple of Madison players hit the deck after plays here in the early going. That's Tyler Mangold. He's listed as a quarterback at 195-pound senior. 8:27 on the clock. We're in the first quarter here from Buccaneer Stadium in Corpus Christi, Texas, and if you can shorten this ball game, Armando Garza, advantage Sharyland once again, regardless of the low scoring.
I think so. I mean, like I said, I think it's all about confidence. Right now, that first play call, that told me a lot. That says, hey, we're gonna take our shots. We have a game plan, and we're not here to run the ball between the tackles and punt. We want to make things happen.
Of course, Diego Chrysler into the quarterback, and Kevin Naro talk about what he brings to the table versus what Lance Madden brings when he's on the football field for this team.
Well, there's no doubt that both of them are athletic, but I want to lean towards, Diego Chrysler. You've seen last year with Tres Barrera, big shoes to fill, but I think both of them have really paved the way for this team.
That was Kevin Giles who was injured on the play. He's listed as a senior, 177-pound D-back, and so he'll be assisted off the field. Second player we've seen that's been helped off the football field for the Madison Mavericks here in the first quarter of play. Scoreless ball game. Sharyland with the ball for the first time. Mavericks took the opening kickoff, got it into Sharyland territory, and were forced to punt. Chrysler gets the start at the quarterback spot. 4 receivers set. They'll spread the field once again. Single back in the backfield with Diego Chrysler. He'll pass it left side of a screen play, set up nicely. Nice move made across the 30. 6-yard gain. That's a nice little play there by the Rattlers.
And that was Laredo Guerra there making some nifty moves to get good yardage there on second down, set up a 3rd and short. But talk about confidence. You know, if they can get this 3rd down here, that'll go a long way.
9-yard gain. Quickly, no huddle, quick snap. And they'll run it. Left side, right side. Nice job by Chrysler. First down across the 43-yard line. First down for the Rattlers.
And again, we're going to see a lot of that read option, you know, especially with the quarterback position. We talked about him earlier. The athleticism these quarterbacks that possess. You know, a great design play there from Ron Adame.
7:53 remaining here in the first quarter of play. Rattlers of Sharyland with the football at their own 40. Chrysler loads the left side with a 3-receiver set. Empty backfield, drops to throw over the middle. It's caught, and a short gain for the Rattlers. Call it 4 yards.
Looks like Christian Martinez came on a slant over the middle there.
And that's the next thing you got to look at is Kevin Naro. These receivers used to catching the ball with a little room to run. They're blanketed and hit. That's a 5-yard gain, though. Yeah,
but the thing that surprises me, those are wide open over the middle, so they're starting to exploit this secondary from these Mavericks.
Now it's a literal empty backfield, 5-receiver set on 2nd and 5. Quick snap, quick shot left side, and they'll try to get to the sideline, spinning out of bounds. Should be enough for a first down for the Rattlers.
Looked like that was the same guy again, or from earlier, Martinez, excuse me.
Christian Martinez comes in here as one of their primary guys on the receiving core, and the Rattlers of Sharyland have moved it to the midfield stripe. New set of downs. Quick snap, running play, right side, and that will go nowhere.
A lot of different looks we've seen so far, Joe. You know, they've come out and thrown a lot of stuff at Madison. It's a lot to digest this early.
That time they used Laredo Guerra on the carry. He will lose a yard on the play.
Daniel Yancey was the first man back there, and we've seen a lot of this from Sharyland. Quick screens.
Michael Gonzalez stays in the backfield, and Chrysler swings a pass out to him. Left side, looking for a block, won't get to the line of scrimmage, ridden out of bounds.
And they're trying to test the outside of this Madison defense, Joe, and they've come to both sides, and I think they're starting to like that left side, but a nice pursuit there from Madison.
Yeah, Yancey again forcing him out of bounds. So this secondary is getting an early test from this receiving core of the Sharyland Rattlers.
Chrysler, though, 4 of 5 in the passing game. Missed on his first one, has hit on his last 4. Wants to throw again. Rolls out to buy some time. Pursuit coming, looking, got the pass away, and it's going to be caught inside the 25-yard line. Leaping one-handed catch.
Looks like that was Brandon Garza, and one of the best catches you'll see in high school football. He waited for the ball, timed his jump perfectly, beat the defender. Excellent play there.
Yeah, just the athleticism to reach up with one hand and falling backwards. Big play from a big-time player in Garza.
That's a 25-yard gain, and quickly they snap the ball. Here comes the blitz. Got the pass away. Garza on the catch, bounces off a couple of tacklers. Boy, they converge quickly, and they end up losing yardage on the play.
And I think they're starting to see something they like, Joe, keeping Madison off balance. They're not able to switch the personnel as much as they'd like, and they're controlling the tempo right now.
They lost a couple on that play, and we're halfway through the first quarter. 2nd and 12, wind at their back. Rattlers from the Madison 27. Running play, Chrysler up the middle, inside the 20, dives forward to the 18.
And again, we're going to see a lot of this read option. They'll fake the jet sweep to the running back, get the defensive ends to kind of fall for it, and then ride up the right hash. Another good run from this offense.
It's actually an 8-yard game, but they had lost a couple on first down. Still manageable. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Rattlers at the 18. Empty backfield for Chrysler. Here comes the blitz. He gets the pass away. Middle, wide open inside the 5. Huge hit delivered, but first and goal coming up.
That's Michael Gonzalez again. We've called his name quite a bit. You know, he went over the middle, found the spot open, and he took a shot, but credit to him for holding on to that football.
Dominic Daniels with the tackle, but again, Joe, like earlier in this drive, they're exploiting this secondary over the middle.
And look at this receiver set up on the left side for the Rattlers. Total confusion by the Mavericks of Madison. Pass play, left side, completed. Touchdown Rattlers, penalty on the other side, though.
It's going to be an approachment on offsides along the left side of the defense. This touchdown's going to stand.
Just a variety of looks we've seen, Joe. I don't know if we've seen the same look twice so far.
That was a 3-receiver, line them up. It is a touchdown Rattlers. Morales on the catch. Daniel Morales reels it in. And after missing on his first pass of the game, Diego Chrysler orchestrates 8 consecutive completions, moves the ball downfield literally at will, which is what we saw Sharyland do all season long. Points on the board. 2 big pendulum swings here. Defense got to stop. Offense put points on the board, and Mondo, confidence level, high level right now.
And that's what we talked about. You have to come out here and you have to show that you can play football. They got the stop on defense. Great drive on offense. You couldn't have asked for a better start for Sharyland.
Extra point, count it. 7-0 Sharyland with 5:09 to go in the first quarter of play. Got a ball game at Buccaneer Stadium, Kevin Naro.
I really think what solidified that drive was that one-handed grab by Brandon Garza. Kind of pumped up his teammates, saying, hey, we can hang with these guys. And again, I'm going to go back to what happened on that drive. The offense moving forward, they finding a hole in the defense, and that was over the middle, slants, quick screens. And really, the secondary is really kind of puzzled right now what Sharyland's doing.
And Armando, let's talk about it. I mentioned it a little bit. 7-on-7. Years ago, it was looked at as, oh, that's what they're doing in the springtime. Now you can see it against the premier athletes in the secondary against some of these bigger schools. Got to have that experience.
And you see it in the development of the skill players, running routes, developing that continuity with your quarterback. 13 weeks later, it comes in handy.
So the Rattlers put points on the board. 5:09 to go in the first quarter. Sharyland on top. Madison will now return to kick. And this is where we've seen Valley teams struggle as well. Get a score and then give up a kickoff return, Armando.
And that's what I was just going to go into. There's just no time for Sharyland to take a deep breath or relax. They need to keep the foot to the gas and play just like they did that first series.
What I've seen over the few years I've been doing this, and now it's starting to build up into many years, is the fact that when this level, one score turns into 3 scores in the blink of an eye. Sharyland up 7-0. They'll kick off. Earlier they squibbed one up the middle of the field. Ball falls off the tee, so we'll hold off on that kick.
You're exactly right. Going back to the O'Connor game, this Madison squad scored 27 straight in a matter of 7 minutes. So do not sleep, like Armando said, against this Maverick team.
They'll crank it up, and I would expect to see their offense open it up a lot more on this particular drive. Rattlers will this time just boom the kick, using the wind to their advantage, and how about that? No kickoff return here. Nice job by the kicker in this case. We're talking about Eric Izagiri.
I mean, and that's another thing to offset what we just talked about, Joe. You don't want to give up a big special teams play. That's a weapon. Use the wind. I mean, he kicked that thing to Kingsville, it seemed like.
Well, a little bit later on tonight, we're on the road. We'll be up a little bit further out of town here at Cal Allen. Again, we continue to work on the audio issues for those of you on 4.2. We are up and running. 7-0, Rattlers on top. Under center, Cody Ennis takes the ball, pitches it out right side. They'll try to get it to that right side. Sideline at about a 5-yard gain. New ball carrier on the game.
Yeah, DJ Smith, the lead blocker there, really paving the way. And Joe, again, it's one thing we've seen in the film from last season against Madison and Sharyland, the offensive line, how they control the trenches and be able to get the running backs into the secondary.
That time the ball carrier was Alex Arden. He'll end up gaining 6 yards on the play. 2nd and 4. Cody Ennis, the quarterback for the Madison Mavericks. Hands the ball off, running play left side, and that's going to be Arden. Gives up a lot of room. Hemmed in, taken down, loss on the play.
And that was Gerardo Davila that got in his way, first of all, forced him to reverse field, and he had a lot of teammates in red waiting for him.
Yeah, just a pack of Rattlers. They're really solidifying this defense, and a good stop, which we've seen on the first drive. The Mavericks were able to break up with a couple of big runs. Excuse me.
How big would a 3-and-out be here?
Huge. I mean, you don't want to get too inflated, but hey, it's so far so good for Sharyland.
Cody Ennis and company don't think they don't have playmakers. One of them lines up receiver left side, Michael Brown. They'll try to jam him off the line. Single back in the backfield is Dominic Daniels, and Ennis wants to throw. Has time, now has some pressure, just throws it up for grabs, deep ball, overthrows everybody. Good job by the defense. It's a 3-and-out.
And they were closing in on him. He had to throw that a little earlier than he wanted to. There was nobody in the area. Big stop for Sherland again on defense. So far so good. 2 punts.
4:11 to go in the first quarter of play. Sharyland Rattlers leading 7-0, and Kevin Naro, they should get good field position out of this, and a dangerous guy back there in Sean Landez to return this kick.
Yeah, Sean Landez is really a magician when he's back there fielding punts. Nifty footwork from Landez.
Rattlers will send another man back with him. That's Justin Harris. Low snap. Ennis does a good job of fielding that penalty. They'll blow it dead.
And you see where this punt's going, Joe. It would have been great field position like we talked about.
That'll be a false start against the Mavericks, so 5 yards against them. Now, this is where it's one thing to pass the ball into the wind with that spiral. It's another thing to punt the ball into this north wind. Ennis is the quarterback. Keep that in mind. Even though it's 4th and 13, don't think they're no gamblers on that sideline with some playoff experience under their belt. Good snap this time. Ennis gets the kick away. Better punt. Fielded. They'll let it roll. It takes a roll for the Mavericks. Picked up by the Rattlers, and they'll give up some yardage and not much there.
It's not often that a penalty benefits you in the long run, but that's exactly what happened for Madison right there.
Yeah, Harris and Landez, 2 dangerous men back there to field a punt for the Rattlers. So kudos to the special teams unit from the Mavericks, really bouncing back. Like you said, that penalty really benefited them there.
Decision time for the Rattlers. They had been spelling Madden with Chrysler, who will be the starting quarterback after Chrysler orchestrated that first drive.
He's got the hot hand. I mean, he had so many completions in a row. I think you got to stay with him.
It looks like an 8, though, in the backfield. And it will be Madden, and he'll take his shot. Now, they are a different-looking football team when Madden's at the helm. Still, they go with an empty backfield, 5-receiver set on first down. Under 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. Madden waits, tries to get him to jump offside. Nothing doing yet. Drops back to throw now. Has a man open out there. It's going to be Garza. That's a completed pass for about 6 yards.
Again, John, keep an eye on this near side of the field. I'm not too sure if it was a busted coverage or if this secondary is confused. They had two receivers on one corner. That's what allowed Garza to get wide open.
I like those odds.
Make that an 8-yard gain. 2nd down coming up for the Sharyland Rattlers. Lance Madden, his first drive of the day. Gonna run. Left side, gonna get hit. Thrown forward. Will be short of first down yardage.
Big time pursuit there by Madison. They were ready for that one, Joe.
And the difference in Chrysler and Madden is that Madden is more apt to run the football on the blink of an eye. And against a team like this that recovers, that's what happens.
And they'll be able to utilize their speed against this. So this is definitely an interesting matchup.
3rd down play. Madden hands the ball off. They'll run it, and they will spin forward. Lyman tries to give a little assistance to the tailback, but nothing doing. Short game.
Yeah, that was Mike Rodriguez kind of giving Landez an extra push from behind. And again, we mentioned the factor from Sean Landez. We've seen him on defense as a safety, a punt return man, and now he's mixed in here with the offense.
Do you go for it here?
Riverboat Ron, I guess we're going to have to call him. Let's see what he dials up here.
4th and 1. They are lined up to go for it. Rattlers of Sharyland. Madden waits, looks for they should have snapped it right there. They had the defense off sides 2 different times on this drive already. Madden now drops back into punt formation. Directing traffic, play clock down to 3, they'll call a timeout. Rattlers had him though. Snap that football, you got a first down.
They jumped. They did indeed jump. You're absolutely right on there. But
with that, we'll take a timeout. 7-0 your score. Live coverage coming your way on digital subchannel 4.2 at valleycentral.com. Back here on Valley Central, we are waiting for the snap, and before that happened, we had a penalty on the play, and Sharyland called a timeout, and then ended up getting penalized anyway.
And these are the kinds of things, Joe, that can slow your momentum and take away all that great mojo you built up in that first series.
So it looked like if they're going to maybe go for it, they try maybe a little bit of a hard count.
Back here at Buccaneer Stadium, 2:26 left after the timeout. Rattlers got penalized, and now it's punting time. 5 yards a little further back, so that takes out the option of going for it on 4th and a short yard. Low snap, they will fake it anyway, and now they'll punt it rugby style. Kick gets away, fielded by the Mavericks at the 20 or 35-yard line, and he will not get away. Brown could not get away.
He's seen a lot of red today so far converge on him. Great special teams. That was kind of a funky formation.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure what that was, but they got it off.
Yeah, Justin Harris holding on to him for dear life really was the man who drug him down.
On that punt, though, Brandon Garza is the one that punted it. He knew he was going to get hit. And literally, rugby-style punts has changed the entire complexion of how some teams approach that punt formation. Third time the Mavericks offense has been on the field. Right now, they've been outgained in this ball game, 80 to get this, 15. Ennis under center on first down. Wants to throw, looks for a deep ball. He overthrows, and it's caught anyway. Reeled in at the 35-yard line. Nice completion there.
Davon Thomas, I saw him warming up a pregame, just all hands on deck. And this is a plethora of a receiving core, kind of like the Rattlers. They have a plenty of wide receivers, a wide receiver by committee, as you want to call it.
And Landez had great coverage there. That was just an excellent throw. Good touch on that pass.
31 yards on the completion by Ennis, who now is 2 for 4 for 30 yards total. First down, though. Deepest penetration by the Mavericks. Rattlers showing a blitz. Ennis sees that. Whistle blows. Timeout. No. Penalty flag.
Looks like the left tackle jumped.
Rattler defense caused that, fellas.
Hugo Oleva was the man called on the false start, the left tackle, like Armando said. So a small break there for the Rattlers.
Makes it 1st and 15. Football at the 39 of Sharyland. Once again, this is the third time Madison's had the football. Furthest they've been downfield yet. Ennis, pitch out, right side, Dominic Daniels. Turns a corner, upfield, hit, taken down. It's a 6-yard gain.
They pretty much just got the yardage there back from that penalty. So, but now we want to see what Madison's going to throw. This is the deepest they've been. What can they bring offensively? What have they seen from the Sherland defense that they want to try to exploit?
Second down and 8 coming up. Clock running with 1:22 to go. I know a lot of coaches will break it down into 6-minute segments. We'll talk about that after this snap. Shotgun formation for Cody Ennis. Wants to throw. Looking. Goes deep again. And it's going to be reeled in. What a catch. Touchdown.
That is an amazing catch. Unbelievable catch by
That's Jamichael Brown.
That was okay. He's back in. He goes out. He comes in, and we talked about him pregame, and he was a playmaker. He just made a sensational grab right there.
From what looked as if that pass was overthrown, Jamichael just really acrobatically threw one hand up there and hauled it in. Tremendous athleticism, and that's the athleticism we talked about pregame, like Armando said, with this squad.
Extra point coming up for the Madison Mavericks. The kicker is Jacob Torres. And he'll boom this one up, and it is good. We're tied at 7 apiece. Didn't expect to be a scoreless ball game, did you, fellas?
Not at all, not at all. And you can't keep a good team like Madison down. That was a huge, huge answer for them.
So the Rattlers score first. Madison scores. And now if you're Sean Landez and company on the kick return, here's where perhaps you bring some magic to the table.
And most definitely, one thing I want to bring up, United 14, Jetson 6, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. So the winner here will face either Jetson or United.
You got to see United in that game against Los Fresnos. I thought going into that they had a huge mismatch. I don't know what Los Fresnos did, but I like United's chances against Judson and against these San Antonio squads as far as being able to light up the scoreboard with them.
And again, all those 4 teams you just mentioned, all similar. They all have that aerial attack. And you're right, United, maybe they had that sloppy game that everyone has. They had it last week against Los Fresnos, and right now they're lining up against a very good Jetson team. And, well, they're up 14-6.
Their quarterback, Derek Esparza, he can flat out sling it.
I don't know what I think it was just weather. I'm gonna credit the weather and a good matchup on what Los Fresnos defense schemed to pull
It was
off.
very cold at campus last week. The wind blowing in and everything. But you're right. Los Stressos had a great season, and United, they are a tough club.
Mavericks to kick the football off, and with the wind blowing in their face, you would expect the Rattlers to get a decent return out of this. It's a short kick, going to be fielded at the 25-yard line to the 30, and that's about as far as they'll go on a return by Ryan Montalvo.
I wonder if they're trying to stay away from Sharyland. Maybe they've watched YouTube a couple of times. Not sure.
He's got a field goal return for 109 yards, nearly return one for 109.9 last week against Harlingen.
Yeah, it came out on Sports Center. Sharyland and Edinburgh North. I remember seeing that highlight film. Landes, again, he's an absolute beast.
Here come the Rattlers. Diego Chrysler back in at quarterback. What did he do? Drove his team down, went 8 of 9 in the passing game, and scored a touchdown on their first drive. Second time on the field with him at the helm. Minute 1 left in the first quarter, tie game at 7 apiece. Chrysler wants to throw. Rushed, got away from that, still hit, and did not get back to line of scrimmage.
Brandon Luna was the man who brought him down, and again, as this game progresses, we're going to start to see the physicality on both sides.
No gain on the play as Chrysler did a good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage. Empty backfield, putting a lot of pressure on the front 4 of the Mavericks, just saying we're going to try to protect with just this right here. Swing pass, right side, completed pass across the 35. Nice move made, 40 and more. Sideline for the Rattlers, inside down to the 30-yard line. And how about that run by Michael Gonzalez?
Wow, he just able to keep his balance on that. He had a lot of green in front of him as soon as he caught the ball, Kevin, and great job by him keeping his balance and getting a lot more yards.
Yeah, really just tight roping that sideline, Armando, and a great pitch and catch there from the Rattlers. They're in business.
That's a 43-yard gain, and Chrysler continues to sizzle in the passing game. Drops back to throw again, looking right side. It's going to be incomplete.
I was going to say that was actually a good throw. It was a little low, but he kept it away from the Madison defender, and you can just kind of see it in his body language, Joe. He's feeling it right now.
That breaks a string of 9 in a row in which he's completed. He's 9 of 11, 102 yards, and the touchdown. 12.2 seconds left here in the first quarter of play. Game tied at 7 apiece. Sharyland with the football at the 28 of the Madison Mavericks. Chrysler out of the shotgun, drops back to throw. Time. Looking downfield, got rid of it, got a man, caught, first down inside the 15.
Joe, Brandon Garza has really come to play in this opening quarter, and I think we want to give some credit to this offensive line for the Rattlers, giving him time to break the pocket, find the extra men downfield.
Diego Chrysler right now is as hot as a quarterback can get. 3.2 seconds left in the quarter. They want to get another snap off with the wind at their back, and the whistle blows. Timeout called by Madison right before the clock expired.
It was interesting. We had a Madison player run out the back of the end zone trying to get back to the sideline. I'm not sure what that was about.
It's confusion. This Rattler team, with Madden, they weren't. With Chrysler, they've got him off kilter.
Yeah, you're right. Chrysler is off to a phenomenal start, and I think if you come into this game, you say, well, what are the keys for this Rattler offense? And then it's all going to start at the quarterback position. I think they're off to an excellent start, and we have possibly a shootout in the making.
Well, you go back one comment earlier. It goes and starts with that offensive line, and Armando Garza, if they give Diego Chrysler this kind of time, he's got receivers downfield that can get open.
And he's making all the throws right now. He's throwing with a ton of confidence. He's in a rhythm right now, and you'd hate to see him get out of that rhythm.
1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Like I said, there's still time to get a snap off, and with the wind at their back, why not take a shot if you're the Sharyland Rattlers? And they are continuing to go with this empty backfield, which means they fully trust the offensive line to give enough protection for Diego Chrysler to get rid of this football.
Keep an eye on the matchup with Brandon Garza and LaMichael Brown, bottom of your screen.
Here we go. It's a pass play in that direction. Garza makes the catch, makes a nice move, spins down inside the 5 to the 4.
There he is, Joe, Brandon Garza, like I said, and that's going to be an interesting matchup. We're going to want to keep an eye on that one. 2 very athletic kids in LaMichael Brown, who we've seen make that phenomenal grab.
That's the end of the first quarter. 7-7 your score. By the way, that's Garza's 5th catch already. Timeout. 7-7 your score. Second quarter after this on Digital Subchannel 4.2 and ValleyCentral.com. here. Second quarter just underway. Rattlers on the first play from scrimmage, and it's going to be Diego Chrysler on a running play, and he takes it down inside the 5-yard line. This is a good response, though, this drive after the Mavericks put points on the board.
Now you got a first and goal situation, goal to go. You can open up the playbook here. Big time run there.
Keep an eye on Sharyland. He's going to line up slot to the right.
Chrysler out of the shotgun. Tie ball game. Landez in motion. Bad snap. Chrysler gets to it. Looks to get something out of it. Won't. Loses yardage.
And those are the kinds of things you hate to see, but I guess if you want to say there's any kind of good news is that there was on first down. They're still inside the 15-yard line, but it's perhaps a miscommunication there.
Loss of 7 on the play. Back out across the 10-yard line. Still goal-to-go situation. Now 11 yards to go for the Rattlers of Sharyland. Chrysler out of the shotgun. Wants to throw, looking right side, completed inside the 10, and quickly covered there by the Mavericks in the open field.
And again, we're seeing this offense go back to that quick screen game, and it's really helped them. And a thing you want to keep an eye on is they like to get those quick screens, and then they'll burn you deep.
Well, if anything, the bad snap gave him a little more room to operate in routes. Garza on that catch. He's now got 6 receiving catches, 56 yards on the game. Chrysler out of a shotgun. 3rd and goal for the Rattlers. Rolls out, looking, got rid of it, corner, threw it away.
Smart play. There was nobody open. Great coverage there by the Mavericks. You don't want to force anything, force the issue, and you try to get 3 points here.
Darius Ainsworth was a man there applying the pressure. So we're starting to see a little bit of more pressure from this front line, from this Maverick squad.
That time, you sensed that the defense wasn't backpedaling. They were set in. They were locked into being ready for whatever Sharyland put at them, which is much different than what we had seen earlier. Field goal attempt coming up for the Sharyland Rattlers. Out of the hole to Lance Madden, a guy who hasn't had much work all season in this department, Eric Izaguirre. He connected on 4 going into the Harlingen game. Gets this one away, and it is going to be no good. Wide left, and they nearly blocked it.
And by coincidence, or perhaps not, the Madison band was warming up pretty loud over there right when he was getting ready for that kick.
Izaguirre got hurt on that play. He's going to jog off, but he came up limping on that one. So the drive got inside the 5, comes up empty-handed in the point department. And here is where momentum can take a swing. Madison gave up yards, big yards. Put points on the board here. They suddenly can take that confidence level to another degree.
And it can all be in a blink of an eye. So it's going to be a big task for this defense to come up with a big stop here.
Cody Ennis has already displayed a strong arm. Now he's got the wind at his back. See if they take a shot deep downfield on this first down play. They'll run it instead, and it's going to be Daniels. He's got some room out across the 25, 29-yard line. Fumble on the play. Who got it? No, second down coming up.
Yeah, it looked like the line judge was already signaling the play was blown dead.
Perhaps setting up something that you're talking about, Joe, that deep shot. You know, they're going to try to lull them to sleep here with a couple of runs before using that wind to their advantage.
Brown is not in the ball game, or is that him in the deep back formation now out of the eye on second down play? Ennis hands it off, first man through, making a couple of moves, now trying to bounce it to the outside, not going to get a first down. Good coverage by the Rattlers.
That was a nifty run there by DJ Smith. He started right, reversed field, went to the left, but a good pursuit there from Sharyland.
And a lot of these running backs, they look like the type that really can burn you with the juke mover. Maybe once they bounce it to the outside, it can be all an end zone run from there.
Little conservative approach this drive thus far with 2 running plays by the Mavericks. Third, a short 2 to go. Ennis keeps it himself. Second effort, going to get a first down. They had him stopped. He'll end up gaining 4 out of the deal.
When you're that big, you're going to get a lot of yards on a quarterback sneak, so great call there to get the first down and get those chains moving.
Rattlers have outgained the Mavericks 144 to 136 in total offense here, or check that, 116 in total offense here in this first half of play. We still got 9 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second quarter. Game tied at 7 apiece as the Mavericks have the football. New set of downs here from their own 35-yard line. Ennis out of an I formation. Wants to throw. Play action, looking. Gets away from the rush. Now he's going to be hit and taken down after a short game.
And again, let's give credit to that secondary for covering those extra couple of seconds for the Rattlers.
That time, Jamichael Brown was out there, isolated coverage. It looked like Ty Signs was down there in coverage for the Rattler. Man-to-man, full trust in that secondary. It wasn't Signs, by the way. It was Monteclair, the cornerback, the senior. Brown this time lines up as a receiver to the right side. Garza draws the assignment for the Rattlers defensively. They'll back off of him. Ennis going to run on a quarterback keeper, tripped up, short gain.
That was a great tackle there. Daniel Gutierrez
15, Cody Ennis on the carry.
getting to the backfield, good penetration, and prevented anything from happening there.
One thing I'm seeing here for the Sharyland Rattlers is multiple substitutions coming into the ball game, especially on that defense front four, keeping fresh bodies in there. Third down play. 7 yards to go. Need to cross to about the 45-yard line. It'll get you a first down if you're the Mavericks of Madison. Cody Ennis, the quarterback, sees a blitz coming. Delayed. He gets it away. Pass is going to be incomplete or caught. Caught in Rattler territory at the 42. One official may wave that off.
Yeah, it looked from up here as if the ball may have bounced off the turf. That was Jamichael Brown, who looks to be the man who hauled in that catch.
Second catch for him. That's an 18-yard gain and a first down. On 3rd and 7, they convert.
And there was a couple guys open on that route.
Already in Rattler territory, now from the 43. Ennis sees a lot of pressure coming middle. He'll pitch it out to Daniels. He's got some room. Breaks it. Secondary. Foot race. 20-15. Out of bounds at the 10.
You know, Joe, it's just a scary thing. You know, you got LaMichael Brown, then you got Daniels, two very explosive running backs.
A simple off-tackle play there, looked like, Joe, and he got a burst through there, good blocking up front. He gets him right around the 10-yard line.
6 carries, 66 yards for Dominic Daniels. Sixes are wild there. He's number 6. 6. First down play for the Madison Mavericks. Ennis under center, swing pass right side, receiver isolated there, hit, upended, down he goes.
It's another good open field tackle from Ryan Montalvo there, and that's going to be key when you play against athletic and bigger guys than you. It's going to come down to just your tackling.
Thomas on the catch. Now Cody Ennis getting heated up in the passing game. He's completed his last 4. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Madison Mavericks. Under 7 to go here in the second quarter. 7-7 ball game. Madison in the red zone. Ennis, play clock down to 5. Runs it himself. Right side. Hit as he got to the 5. Third down coming up.
Bit of a little, I don't know if that was a confusion or if it was designed, but they kind of crisscrossed there in the backfield, and Ennis kept it. Got a couple of yards out of it, but that was an interesting formation there.
3rd and 4. Is this 4-down territory for Madison?
I think with the win, I think so. And then if you don't get it, of course, Sharyland's got to go 95, 96, 97 yards. So I would not doubt it for a second if Jim Strady goes for it on 4th down.
Seemed like just moments ago it was 1st and goal for the Rattlers inside the 5. Now here we are, 3rd and 4 at the 6 of the Rattlers. Man in motion. Ennis takes a snap. Gonna run. Hit. Down he goes. Loss on the play. Back at the 10.
He was looking for one man over here on the near side. He was covered. We can call that a coverage sack because there was only one guy down the field on that pass route.
David Agano, the first man there to put the pressure, Joe. Awesome play.
Mavericks will send in the field goal unit.
So if they're going to go ahead and look to kick this field goal, could this be a quote-unquote moral victory for this Rattler defense, not giving up the touchdown?
Kyle Southern is the holder. He's a wide receiver normally. The kicker is Jacob Torres.
I think if they don't lose the yards there on that play, Joe, I think they're going for it. So big play there for the Rattlers.
Mark it down at the 11. This is a 21-yard field goal with the wind at their back. Low snap, kick away, and it's going to find its way through and good. Mavericks, after trailing 7-0, now lead 10-7.
Yeah, and again, like I said, this could go back to Sharyland's favor and a moral victory. You know, it really looked as if Madison was going to take a 14-7 lead. But again, the defensive line for the Rattlers this time really stepping up. One guy that really solidified that defense was Rudy Torreño, who they call the Tornado on the defensive side for the Rattlers.
He came in and made a couple of good stops there on that drive, Joe. And just like Kevin said, yeah, that was a big stop for them. Now we see where do they go at quarterback. We saw him alternate after the first possession. Who do you stay with here? It starts to become the chess game for Ron Adame here.
Diego Chrysler thus far in the day, 12 of 15 in the passing game for 127. He's also run the ball 5 times for just 8 yards. Lance Madden, 1 of 1 in his drive in the passing game. It was an 8-yard completed pass. However, it was a 3-and-out punt for the Rattlers of Sharyland, which the way this plays out, 5:15 to go here. If you want to script this to perfection, take this into halftime with this drive, put points on the board, and then get the second half kickoff and use that deferred winning of the coin toss to your advantage.
Yeah, we're right around that 4-minute mark. Like a lot of coaches like to say, let's run this 4-minute drill. And if you're asking which quarterback do you go with, well, Diego Chrysler's got my vote. You know, in this first half, Joe, he's really done a good job against a very tough secondary. And you said he's orchestrated a couple of good drives.
Kickoff, they kicked it short last time. This time they'll kick it a little deeper. This is returnable, and this is going to be out across the 20-yard line in a hurry. Nice move made to the 25, and that's where the Rattlers will start to drive into the win this time, and then a penalty comes in super late after that.
Be interesting to see what this flag is, but
that flag was thrown after the tackle was made.
Blocking the back on Sharyland looks like the early call.
Why do you throw that flag after the tackle's made?
Illegal block in the back. Number 25, red. And they're cutting first down.
Alberto Pedraza is the man found guilty of the block in the back, and like Armando said, you know, these penalties you can't afford to make this deep into the season. You know, Joe and I had games in October and in September talking about, you know, it's okay to make these penalties, but once you get into November and maybe early December, you just can't afford to make penalties like this.
Now you see number 6 out there at quarterback, Joe, so they're sticking with the hot hand.
Chrysler out of the gun from the 15-yard line, hands it off, and there's nothing there for Michael Gonzalez.
And we've hardly seen Sharyland run the football. And like you said before the game, we're going to see both quarterbacks sling it around and, you know, possible shootout here between these two teams.
Gonzalez now, nothing doing in the running game. 2nd and 10 for the Rattlers of Sharyland. 4:48 left in the half, down 10-7. Chrysler throws this one deep right side. It's going to be incomplete. Threw it a little high.
Just a little too much air under that one.
One thing I want to look at is this offensive line for the Rattlers giving Chrysler time. And just on this past play, he was standing cool and collected in the pocket, you know, not being rushed at all. Just overshot his man, who's Landes was the intended wide receiver.
Danger zone right here for the Rattlers of Sharyland. Miss one here. It's a 3-and-out punt into the wind. Also got to worry about interceptions with a team that knows you're throwing the football, and they backpedal for coverage. Running play, and look at Chrysler go, slides forward, got a first down.
That is a heads-up play from a heads-up player. Nobody open downfield, didn't want to make a mistake, don't want to force it. A lot of green up the middle, and he did a great job to get that first down.
That's senior leadership right there by Diego Chrysler. Chains move, spotted down at the 25, 4:28 left. Landes takes the handoff on the jet sweep, not much there, got a yard.
I can't overstate the importance of that run on 3rd down because if they punt into the wind, you give them the ball we're at about 4 minutes to go here before half. Huge conversion there for Sharyland.
2nd and 9 coming up. Rattlers staying with that no-huddle offense. Sometimes they'll hurry up out of it. Other times they'll take their time and just run it from the sidelines, calling the play. 3 receiver set right side. Chrysler rolls that way. Got a good block, still looking, gets rid of the ball, threw it away.
Yeah, again, it's another good decision from Chrysler, getting rid of the football. And that's one thing coming into this game, I'm sure in their game planning, they're saying don't force anything, because once you start to force things, then you get the turnovers, then you get the interceptions. So a veteran throw there from Chrysler.
Just like that, it's 3rd and 9 again for the Sharyland Rattlers. Ball at the 26, got to get it out across the 35 for a first down. They'll get the play from the sideline. 3:51 as the clock stops here after the incompleted pass. We're in the second quarter. Madison Mavericks leading this one 10-7. Sharyland with the football. Play action, a pass play. Nope, Chrysler going to get hit this time. Gets away from 2 men, but here comes 4 more to greet him. He'll lose 3 on the play.
That was Josh Mino who came in first for Madison. Fell down, got back up, tripped him up again. He started that from the very beginning.
He really just bull rushed to the intended blocker, and that's really what set up that play. Just a phenomenal play there on the side of the Madison Mavericks. Wow.
So now the Rattlers will have to punt the football. That means Byron Daniels will go back to return this punt, and he will stand near the midfield stripe waiting for the punt from Brandon Garza. 3:12 remaining, second quarter action. Regional playoff game, round 3 in the state of Texas. Buccaneer Stadium in Corpus Christi, Texas. Sharyland taking on Madison. Good snap, good kick, spiraling kick. Daniels fields it at his own 47, gives up a lot of ground. Huge hit delivered, second huge hit delivered. Now the return set. Down the sideline, Daniels still on his feet and out of bounds. There was some major collisions going on in that ball.
And one of them was a couple of Rattlers that ended up knocking each other, and they're both kind of woozy right now.
Yeah, a lot of the coaching staff and the fans wanting a block in the back, but they're not going to get it.
Madison will take over at the Rattler 29 with 2:45 left here in the half. How often have you seen this script play out, Armando Garza, last couple of minutes of the first half?
Too many times, Joe. Too many times. I hope this isn't another one of those.
Cody Ennis, the quarterback, out of the shotgun, keeps Dominic Daniels back there. Timeouts, they've got 1 and make that 2 left if they need to use those. Ennis wants to run up the middle, falls forward inside the 25.
If you're the Rattler defense here, again, you can maybe hold them to a field goal. If anything, force a turnover. I think a turnover would really be a big momentum swing here for the Rattlers.
It's a 4-yard gain for Cody Ennis. He's now got 6 carries, 25 yards. Second down play coming up for the Madison Mavericks. He'll go under center this time. Straight drop back. Looks to deliver a deep ball right side, incomplete.
Yeah, he was looking for his man Byron Daniels, the intended wide receiver.
And Monty Claire had good coverage again. It's right there with him step for step. So, you know, if you're Madison, I noticed they weren't in a big hurry. Got about 2 minutes to go here. But, you know, with a 3rd and long here, it'd be interesting to see what Jim Streety does up.
Cody Ennis now 5 of 8, passing the ball 81 yards, running the balls 8 of 25. I would say they've been held relatively in check as far as this offense goes. Just 10 points on the board, but still 2:11 left. A big 2 minutes left here in this first half. Running play, Ennis fell forward, did not get a first down. 4th and 2 coming up for the Mavericks.
And decision time for Madison here. Let's see it. Looks like they're staying out there as of right now.
2 minutes left in this first half. Field goal gives them a 6-point lead. They are sticking with the offense right now. They've got big beef up front to deliver some blocks. On the ground, they're averaging about 5.2 yards per carry as a team. Ennis stays in the backfield in a shotgun formation. And he's going to run up the middle, got a first down. He just strides forward, use that strength and size, and the chains will move.
Yeah, and again, with the size of Ennis, it's almost like it's a linebacker against a linebacker, just lowering his shoulder, and he'll get that extra push.
If you don't have penetration and he gets a little momentum going forward, it's exactly what you get. Minute 23 to go. Now the Mavericks can take their time. They do have 2 timeouts remaining. Well within striking distance of the end zone if they want to take a shot there on at least one of these snaps. Jermichael Brown lines up receiver left side. Ennis looking that way. Here comes the rush. Got the ball away, threw it in the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Great pressure there. Aaron Sedna came darting in. He had to get rid of that one.
Ennis wanted to look to that left corner of the end zone. What he looked at was from that left side, a big red uniform right in his face.
Yeah, again, Byron Daniels targeted again in the red zone. He's been his favorite target down in this area of the field.
Well, Daniels was down there. I'm not so sure that wasn't heading for Jermichael Brown, who was also lined up out there. I think he got jammed up at the line. Irregardless, clock stops. Minute 5 to go in the half. 2nd and 10 for the Mavericks. Ennis under center this time. Pitch out left side, Daniels. He's got a lot of room on the corner. Inside the 10, up into there.
And there he is again, Sean Landez diving, trying to make what was what looked to be an impossible tackle, really saved the touchdown there for the Rattlers.
Daniels shaken up on that play. Did not get a first down, so Madison has to burn their second timeout. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Mavericks. If you don't get it here.
I'll say it again. I think you go for it. Of course, Jim Streety took the points the previous trip, but This is a chance for them to really, if you're a Madison fan, put Sharyland further back. So this will be an interesting call on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, or maybe you can just pull your offense out there, maybe get a little bit of a hard count going. If you don't get that, you can pull them off and maybe get the field goal unit out there. But you're right, I agree with you, Armando. You got to go for it here. You got a team on the ropes, or the Rattlers. Maybe they could put the bullet away early for this Maverick squad. Excuse me.
Mavericks put 3 on the board here. You're Sharyland with a lot of confidence going to the halftime locker room.
I'm ordering pizzas in the locker room if I'm Sharyland. If it's 13-7.
7 points on the board here. It's a different speech that you deliver to your kids getting ready for that second half. Mavericks will go with a shotgun. Ennis, 5 of 9 for 81 yards. 3rd and 1. They can still get a first down without getting in the end zone. Man in motion, left to right is Jermichael Brown. Ennis keeps it himself. Drives forward, got a first down, stays on his feet, down to the 4.
He's just so hard to bring down, kind of a Ben Roethlisberger type player. The first guy, chances are, is not going to bring him down by himself. So, he's starting to find a rhythm here running the football. He's able to get those extra yards.
Do you have enough time to run 2 of those plays? Because 2 of those will get you in the end zone. Ennis under center now. 1st and goal from the 4. Handoff, right side, touchdown Mavericks.
Yeah, that one looks really easy there for Madison, just running it right up the middle.
Alex Arden on the carry, takes it in the end zone with 33 seconds to go.
And kudos to the Mavericks. They withstood that early push. Momentum was going to shift. It did. And they've seized this opportunity, and now they're going to possibly go up 10 points here going into the half.
Extra point coming up with 33 seconds left in the half. Good snap, good kick. It's away and good. After Sharyland scores the first 7, the Mavericks answer was 17. 17-7 to go. And, all right, let's talk about this. 33 seconds to go. What's wrong with taking a shot deep downfield if you're the Sherland Rattlers?
There's nothing wrong with that, especially with a team like the Rattlers that love to spread them out and sling it around. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and get some points on the board. But I know last week in the PI game, I told Armando I'm a big fan of the team scoring before halftime because they get to carry that momentum into the locker room.
However, Armando, how often have you seen even 33 seconds turn into 7 more points if you take that big shot and it gets picked off?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're against the wind also. I'm not a very conservative guy when it comes to play calling, but if they don't get absolute fantastic field position here, I don't think it would hurt to take a knee, go in the locker room, and regroup as you get the ball in the second half.
You get the ball to start the second half, and you then focus in on let's get points on the board on that drive and turn this into a one-possession game, and see if we can come up with the magic we had was close to a dominating first quarter by the Sharyland Rattlers. 33.7 seconds left in the half. 17-7 your score. Madison Mavericks leading the Sharyland Rattlers. Rattlers do have 2 timeouts remaining. However, this kick will be into the wind. They've been kicking away from the return men thus far, have the Madison Mavericks. This time, it'll be a returnable kick from inside the 10. Out across the 15-yard line. And a rather hesitant return to the 21-yard line.
I'm not sure if I don't pitch that right back to Sharyland and let's see what he can do.
If it was a real tedious hesitation kind of return against athletes like this, that does not work.
Yeah, these Mavericks are just really flying down the field on all aspects, the special teams, defense, and offense. We're starting to see this athleticism from this team. So 25 seconds, you're right. We'll see what Sharyland dials up.
See who goes with the quarterback. It's going to be Lance Madden. Yes, that's Lance Madden in at quarterback. And it will be 1st and 10 for Sharyland.
There's 2 schools of thought here. Like I said, some people might take a knee here or run a running play and get out of here, and somebody else might try to get points. So I guess we'll wait to see what happens, and then we'll see who was right.
Madison goes with a more standard defense. No super deep safeties on this play. Madden out of the gun. Hands it off on a draw play up the middle. Not much there for Gonzalez. Hangs onto the football after taking a huge hit.
Yeah, now they're going to have to be a little bit careful on the Madison side. That was Jordan Brown who really laid the wood.
Sharyland burns a second timeout.
Well, it's clear Ronald Diamond's not just going to take a knee and go to the locker room, but I don't know. I guess maybe I've watched too many Houston Texans games, and I've seen pick sixes and all types of
this year
weird things like that. But, I mean, you want to send a message that, hey, we're fighting this thing. We're not giving up. Let's see if we can get something out of this. But just with the wind in your face, you're so deep in territory. I mean, I think the right play would just to be run another running play here.
At halftime coming up, we'll have the marching bands performing. We will continue on with the coverage here on Digital 4.2 as well as ValleyCentral.com. Those of you on Valley Central, I know we've had comments as the playoffs have progressed along on where's the video. UIL absolutely restricts the video streaming of these football games, and therefore you get that on an archive version a little bit later on. Here in this one, 17-7 your score, 18 seconds left in the half. Sharyland on a 2nd and 5. Madden wants to throw, going to run instead. Still looking, delivers a pass, incomplete, took a huge hit too.
Yeah, he was blitzed from behind. He had to be really careful, and as a quarterback, you always hear it, in the higher levels. You have that clock in the back of your head. When do I got to get rid of it? There he really got lucky on that when he was being chased from behind.
Well, and the read on the junior quarterback is that he tucks first, throws if it's there, absolutely. And against, like Armando, we've talked about it, athletes that can recover with the speediness, that generally doesn't play into your favor.
I think right here would be a nice time for him to tuck and run.
3rd and 5. Empty backfield, Madden, swing pass, and that's a lateral. Now the second pass is going to be up for grabs, and Garza reels it in again, inside the 40.
Wow.
And that's why I'm not a football coach, Joe.
Brandon Garza again with a phenomenal grab. And you saw that ball go off the turf. Well, it was a lateral, so it's still a live football. I think.
Live ball, fumble.
Yeah, I think that's what caught the secondary off guard. Oh, maybe an incomplete pass. No, sir. That was a lateral ball. And while Brandon Garza, looking like Megatron, really jumping up and grabbing that football.
Well, he got it at the 37-yard line. 6.2 seconds to go. That's your final timeout if you're the Rattlers. You got to go end zone here, Armando Garza.
You do. You do. I mean, don't listen to anything I say from here on out, I guess. But, hey, the wind's in your face. Throw it up there. There's only 6 seconds to go. Of course, now Rattlers might just take an in, so who knows what's going to happen.
Well, what about the catches, though, Brandon Garza's made in traffic? That's not the first one he's reeled in.
Yeah, and like we said, down the field against the wind, 2 guys on him. And not only that, earlier we saw him haul in one pass with just one hand. So they might just want to keep an eye on Brandon Garza. But on the other side, you can line up Sherland. So little by little, this Rattler is gaining confidence, like you said.
This is where you talked about, Kevin, having this big group of receivers. They're going to send everybody down there to try to come up with a tip here. Anything can happen on a end zone pass.
5 different guys with catches today for the Sharyland Rattlers. 3 of those with multiple catches. None better than Brandon Garza, 7 for 91 yards. Madden rolls out to throw. Final play of the half, barring a penalty. Gets rid of it. It's short of the end zone. It's going to be picked off and dropped. That's the way the half comes to an end.
That was Jamichael Brown who had a chance at that. He was back there on defense. And I'm sure he wanted a chance. He's over there lamenting what just happened.
Rattlers put up 191 yards of offense. That's 20 shy. Make that 10 shy of the Madison Mavericks. 10, big number, because that's the difference in the scoreboard. Mavericks lead this one 17-7. Rattlers and Mavericks, we'll talk it over. We'll take a break. It's halftime here from Buccaneer Stadium on Digital Subchannel 4.2 and ValleyCentral.com.